and the response was pretty much the same over and over and
Yeah, microphone check 1 2. What is this? Surprise build. Y'all could be anywhere in the world. Y'all here with me. Too early. Too early yet. Let me play a couple videos. Hopefully. Never mind the appearance. Shouts out to Haiti though. Shouts out. I should be down there in the Isles, in the West Island, since it seems they never lost their way of life. We lost ours, but Imagine. I'll be back. Let's get it.
Dying every day, slow. It's called Hell on Earth. Shake all negative energy motherfuckers the fuck away from you. I'm telling you.
Chosen. I do this for y'all. Yeah. Yeah. Getting closer to my dreams, tell me what it mean. Made it through the smoke screen, now it's so serene. In my journey, few will comprehend the shit I seen. Young nigga, no father, forced to go harder. Growing in a crazy world, I had to think smarter. While rappers steady glorifying Gucci, Louis, Prada. I'm trying to push the generation farther. I seen them play roles that was worthy of an Oscar, but I was down with you like the seats on a chopper. Ain't trying to be the one that this cold world alter. I can't falter on this path to my dreams. I finally understand everything ain't what it seems. Gotta watch out for the schemes. Yeah. I done been through a lot, I hope I maintain. Staring at the rain, guess some things never change. Seen shit coming like a sniper long range, so I had to switch lanes cause they wanna see me drain. Speaking from my heart and I be blind to refrain. Play the hand dealt, it ain't no time to complain. Can't see glory if you haven't seen pain, so I do it for the chosen, it's more than a name. Yeah, got issues cycling within you, but keep your head up cause the truth will ascend you. And know that victory is on the menu. No matter how many times the devil try to end you, stay blessed.
Yeah. Close your eyes and what you. Hey, shouts out. First token of the day. Chris Byers, the Smokers Lounge. Hey, I, in my dumbass way, asked, what does TSL? And he told me, the Smokers Lounge. I'm like, shouts out to you, first token. First token, well, this is my second one of the day. I know that's probably about your 35th one of the day. Second, Toker, Big O, Tiffany Johnson, Dark Amelia. The list goes on and on. Those 6 that, hey, I must be getting better at it. They drop everything. Hey, drop what you're doing at the gun range. Coppertone on, get there. In between entanglements, man, that's, hey, I commend you. Bust one and get there, huh? Bust one and get there. This pussy ass, damn, I thought this bit was a goal, but, well, it's enough. Let me slide this on in here. Shots out to Sister Armor for this one.
Chosen. I do this for y'all. Yeah. Yeah. Getting closer to my dreams, tell me what it mean. Made it through the smoke screen, I was so serene. In my journey, few would comprehend the shit I seen. Young nigga, no father, forced to go harder. Growing in a crazy world, I had to think smarter. While rappers steady glorifying Gucci, Louis, Prada. I'm trying to push the generation farther. I seen them play roles that was worthy of an Oscar. But I was down with you like the seats on a chopper. Ain't trying to be the one that this cold world alter. I can't falter on this path to my dreams. I finally understand everything ain't what it seems.
Yeah, hey, y'all could be anywhere in the world. Y'all here with me. Non-stop coverage, which means the world to me, because it's in the Americas, and I look back and see that the Isles, they never lost their way. They never lost. We lost more here in the inlands than they lost on the out, and they is us, one and the same. It's a tragedy. Not for, the president, every president, they don't trust the government, but what's going down for the foundation, the poverty stricken citizens of this nation. The first Black after colonization empire, or first Black republic. You see the trails of oppression because of that act. So just a little footage. They shut me down yesterday with what I wanted to nonstop put out here, but then I look back and think that, damn, I'm going against their compliances with the ads that they want ran through the content. So that's one of the main reasons, but here we go. Let's get it.
Who ordered the assassination of Haiti's president? On Jovenel Moise's watch, the breakdown of law and order, the rise of gang rule had reached new proportions. But to be gunned down in the night at his private residence is a shock. Neighbors heard 2 hours of gunshots, they say. Police only secured the scene at dawn. The First Lady airlifted to Miami in critical but now stable condition. And on Thursday, the police parading what they describe as mercenaries, who they blame for the attack.
We captured 17 people, among them 15 Colombians. We identified them with their Colombian passports. There are 2 Haitian Americans among those captured.
Nico Hines, we were reporting a few months back on the death on the battlefield of an African head of state, Chad's Idriss Déby. Here, we're completely in the dark once again.
Yeah, and this is a really terrifying situation. Obviously, what it does show is just how dangerous Haiti is. I mean, our Daily Beast correspondent, who has been working in Haiti for decades, has not been there for months because the violence, the kidnappings, the instability has been so bad in recent months that she hasn't felt safe enough to even be there. And that's, someone who's used to that, to working in those sorts of conditions. This story is extraordinary, and it just doesn't quite seem to add up at the moment. I think there's still a lot more to come in terms of who ordered this, what were these mercenaries doing. Some of the reports suggest that they encountered no they somehow tricked their way in. They didn't have to shoot their way in, that they immediately got to him and killed him. But if that was the case, why didn't they get the hell out of the country before everybody noticed and daylight came up? Other reports are saying there were hours of gunfire in the night. In which case, where are all the bodies? Which soldiers were killed that were defending the president, or were there any victims on the other side? I don't think we're getting the full story as yet, and it may be weeks or even months before we do find out.
And the confusion, it's all around, because there's confusion over what happened, Catherine Field. There's confusion over who's running the country, because there are dueling constitutions. And according to one of them, it's the head of the Supreme Court, who, by the way, recently died of COVID. Mm-hmm. And the other, it's the prime minister, except there's even there two different prime ministers. One had been named the day before, but hadn't yet been sworn in.
Yeah, I think on this one, we can really start to look at what has been going on in Haiti since, not just since that massive earthquake they had in 2010, but before that. This is a country that has received enormous amounts of aid. It's received an enormous amount of help in trying to prop up the institutions of a state, which clearly have not worked. So what happened to those $13 billion of aid that has been pumped into Haiti, that is meant to provide stability, a civil society, to make some sort of functioning country, which it clearly isn't. And there's been another sort of interesting aspect of the COVID on this one, is that Haiti, yes, is a very poor country. It's one of the poorest in that region, and it depends on remittances, and it hasn't had the remittances coming from expats. So the whole situation in Haiti has been getting more and more desperate. And the other thing is, those remittances, when they come, generally are not used, according to the data, to go into the local economy. They're used to get out of Haiti. They're used to find some way of getting a passport, getting onto a plane to get out of Haiti and try and find life somewhere else. So, yeah, you could almost put Haiti in the same basket as Somalia, Afghanistan, these countries that, for all intents and purposes, are almost failed states, dependent on aid just to keep going.
Remittances, money sent by the diaspora from places like the Brooklyn neighborhood of Flatbush, home to a sizable Haitian community.
It's a real blow for us because the president was killed while he was still in power. But I don't feel bad because these people weren't running the country well. Moise was a thug. They killed a thug.
It's a bad thing for real. Even I don't like him. Even he don't like him. Even you don't like him. He's not supposed to die like that.
We want Haitians in the country and Haitian out of the country to come together. We can't trust the foreigners. We can't trust neither the State Department or those people. Many of those rogue diplomats, French, Canadian, and all those white former colonials sitting down making decisions on Haiti.
And Kedevan Gorgestani, there is a lot of resentment towards the international community, including against the United States, for not having spoken up more when Jovenel Moise tried to change the Constitution, and that there were essentially, the U.S. accused of giving him a free pass. And it's interesting because we've heard mixed things from Haitians in the last 24 hours. They want help from the United States. They want an independent international inquiry, but they also want to restore some of the hurt pride we heard in those remarks.
Yes, and it shows really this really different approach from the Haitians vis-a-vis the Americans. You can see it in how how the U.S. is responding to the situation right now. I was at the White House press briefing yesterday, and Jen Psaki was asked multiple times and in very different sort of questions about the situation in Haiti, and the response was pretty much the same over and over and over again. She said, we support the democratic institutions of Haiti. We stand by the fact of holding elections by the end of the year, and we are there to assist Haiti if they ask for it. They have.
It's said that Haiti is the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. To answer your question,
Actually asked for it now, and just moments ago in today's briefing, Jen Psaki, the press secretary, announced that there was a U.S. delegation going to Haiti to help with security issues with the investigation, including FBI officials who are going now to Haiti to help out with figuring out what's going on. But overall, it seems that the U.S. doesn't really know where to position itself regarding the political situation in Haiti. And we've heard some Haitians, especially Haitians here in the United States, saying that, well, the Biden administration is not really taking a position. They're just pretty much following what previous administrations had done, including Donald Trump, and basically letting things flow and not really taking a position or intervening, and not really, trying to do something to help Haiti.
Victor Mallet, that's interesting what Kedevan is bringing up, because we've heard Haitians say, well, the Americans ready, and the French ready to give whoever's in power in Haiti a free pass as long as they don't side with Cuba and Venezuela.
Yeah, I mean, it's one more example of a country where the West is not really able to exercise, the influence or the power that it wants to do. To me, it's just very worrying, because it's one more example of an unstable country, one more assassinated president, one more excuse for war. It's slightly ominous that, you had this sort of report that some of the people may have come over from the Dominican Republic. So it's just a sort of, it seems to, one doesn't want to be too pessimistic about the world, but really a lot of the places where the US and its allies try to sort of exercise influence, they're not really able to do so in any effective way.
Yeah, we go around the table, Nico Hines, but of course we're no closer to figuring out who done it, who are these people who've been arrested, these Colombians and Haitians who are naturalized Americans.
Yeah, I mean, there's a kind of dichotomy there, because if they were such brilliant
naturalized
Americans, why did they not manage to get themselves across the border? And
nationals. Listen to
it seems
the
to
same
me that
talk
they
that's over here in the
country
inland.
Quickly, they must have believed that either
democracy, government,
they were going to start some sort of a coup,
everything's the same.
The people
just different
told
locations.
them that they would then be safe. And they would be part of the, protected by the new administration that was going to come in. But that doesn't even seem clear, because normally in these situations, you ask yourself, well, who stands to gain from this? And in this case, we've got two prime ministers, both of whom claiming that they should now be the one to take control. Claude Joseph kind of leapt immediately.
So it leaves it
prime suspect
like
number one in my mind.
certain fractions got certain fractions out the way, and there's two constitutions. There's two separate sets of rulers. Is it both sides have people in play, the streets and the government?
And that always
one
makes people think
probably is for the streets,
this is a guy who maybe
and one is for the government
commanding it. Now, this is pure speculation. I don't have any evidence to back that up. But what you have to try and do in these situations is imagine, why would something like this happen?
Or you kind of on you could also wonder. The former president, the predecessor, you're allowed to run twice for president in Haiti, but you
that
can't
could be
run consecutively.
Get
Michel
those
Martelly,
out the way and just occupy it.
Moise was his protege.
Yeah, because look, it said the first,
if ever there is an election.
first news on it, U.S. backed Haitian president
Yes,
assassinated?
I mean, it is totally a possibility, but of course, it is, as we've all said, still very early and things are still very murky and no one really knows exactly what has happened.
This next
and
video,
Vice,
this is going to be in Trinidad, where, you know, who is the most famous Trinidad?
That they use and extremely careful
It's going to show,
sides, to try to not name names.
It's going to show some people that was guarding the streets that kept street shit to a minimum. But they went up against the government back in, I think, 89, 90, maybe what? No, 92, 91, somewhere around in there.
As one of the guests was
and
saying,
shit for Trinidad went downhill.
Things that just don't seem right, things that just don't fit. And I feel that the Americans sending that delegation to Haiti is to try to figure out what exactly happened and to have a better idea of who might be behind it. Because if they take a position for the acting prime minister and then it turns out that he had something to do with it, then the Americans are in a very bad situation. So I think they're trying to wait and see what really has happened, and then they'll make a decision or an announcement.
To go to this next shots out, those 10, Chris Byers, Tiffany Johnson, Grandma Dade County, what's up in the house? So, yeah, go ahead. Big Dog, OG Philly, Dark Amelia, Big O, Usual Suspects. Once again, Chris Byers, First Soaker. Let's get it. Going on to, let me get the professional. Man, I couldn't stay away, man. Shit keep calling me, man. Let me go into this next one. Just showing how, and look at the officer, the big officer. Look at his rings. It's going to show what side. I mean, just look for the rings. Look what's on the head police rings. It's on the thumbnail too, but it's right here. I know.
Let's see what you got.
I know. I'm fucked up.
Should I be scared?
So we're here in East Port of Spain, Trinidad. And when people think of Trinidad, usually they think of steel pan drums, carnival, celebrations, and good times. And Trinidad itself is a pretty rich country. They've got plenty of oil and gas deposits, and the GDP per capita here is 18,000. Unfortunately, over the past 15 years, Trinidad's seen its murder rate go from about 100 a year to 500 a year. And that's mostly due to warring gang factions in neighborhoods below me like Laventille, which fight ruthless turf wars, sometimes over just one block. So how did these gangs get so powerful? Many of them have gotten intertwined in politics, doing favors for politicians and receiving lucrative government contracts for public works and construction projects meant to help alleviate unemployment. Adding to that, Trinidad is only 7 miles away from Venezuela. In the past few years, it has reemerged as a major transshipment point for drugs to West Africa and the United States.
Border Patrol officers say they found 732 pounds worth of cocaine.
A recent bust in Virginia had over $100 million worth of cocaine that originated in Trinidad.
So much cocaine, we can't even tell you where we shot this video.
While the drugs only stop in Trinidad temporarily, the guns brought in as protection stay. Many on the island think that corrupt politicians and business leaders are heavily involved. And they say that this culture of corruption and impunity filters down to the street level where gangs do not fear the rule of law. We're on our way to meet Hal Greaves, a former actor now turned community activist who works with a lot of the local gangs. He's one of the few people who can move throughout all territories. Hal, where are we right now?
We're in Canada, and this community has been devastated by the recent fighting between the gangs. Several of the families have been moved out.
Yeah, I'm
The
supposed to
buildings
be
have been
off, man.
condemned. We could see where walls have been broken down. There are bullet holes all throughout the community. There was one gang there, and some years ago, the gang broke into almost 5 factions. And with murderous rage. And the boys will tell you that now the kitchen is at war with the bedroom.
Murderous
and the hate
rage.
they had for people who
Murderous.
they grew up among. They share the same house. Almost once a week, they'll be shooting in the area.
And the government's just powerless to stop it.
They're not powerless. They're just not focused.
The government has tried a number of tools to stop the violence, including curfews and anti-gang legislation passed in 2011 that carries a possible jail sentence of 20 years just for being in a gang. Most of the responsibility, though, falls on Trinidad's embattled police force, who have been criticized recently for extrajudicial killing and over-aggressive policing. We went to meet up with
What's
the
up?
Northeast Division
Peace,
Task
peace.
Force.
Thank you. Thank you.
So this is an Uzi that these guys pulled off a gangster about 2 nights ago. There was a shootout, and they killed 2 people. We're about to go on patrol with the Northeast Division Task Force in Trinidad, Port of Spain. From what we're told, they're sort of the baddest cops out there right now. And this is why, because they pull this off people that shoot at them. Our guide was Inspector Roger Alexander, a large man with a fearsome reputation, well known as an officer not to be trifled with. So we've been at the police station for about 5 minutes. They're saying it was basically a quiet night. A call just went over, a guy got shot 6 times. So we're heading out right now with the task force to see what's going on. And it's routine.
Yes, stand by. So right now you'll see the place look very dismal. Everybody lock up.
It's crazy though, it's Friday night and there's nobody on the street.
My name is Johnny Vo. I've joined November 2019. I was a machinist. We're doing north of $59,000 a month.
Streets.
Anything could happen here. Anything. Which one? Where?
You can see the shells right there.
One there too.
Blood over here. Right at the scene of a shooting that just happened. We heard over the speaker that the guy was shot 6 times, blood and shells everywhere. It's pretty tense around here. We're being told not to get too close. But the inspector is a large man and I'm gonna hide behind him in case anything happens. So what happened? I mean, how do these gangs just take control like this? Just
money, drugs.
Yeah.
2-4. There are some people calling themselves Rasta City.
Yeah.
And some is the Muslims. Rasta City have a problem with the Muslims over drug too. So they're killing out each other.
Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Back and forth. Some people in the area, in some of the areas, consider themselves community leaders. But those community leaders say about getting jobs for the youth, building construction in the area to help the youth. The
government contracts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But what happening too is that instead of treating with only that, they also want to treat with the narcotic
K.
aspect
Smith,
of it.
OOE. What's
These
up?
government contracts
Thank you.
for programs
Appreciate
originally
you.
created as a
Honor,
means of sharing
honor,
Trinidad and
honor.
Tobago's
Let's
oil and
get
gas
it.
wealth have backfired and given way to corruption, working to strengthen the very gangs the government is trying to rein in.
It's making our job 9 times harder. Because long time, when we knew all they had was drugs and guns, and they used to come out and do robberies, and we used to catch them. But how do you catch a man now who's getting legal money? It is a little more difficult.
It's easy to hide too. Does it feel sometimes like you're fighting a losing battle?
Yeah. Honestly, yeah.
The police are frustrated in this country because the crime rate is going up. Public confidence in policing is at an all-time low. Police don't get the kind of respect that they would hope for in a country. And a lot of times the police have been fingered in a lot of sort of unsavory practices as well. The traditional methods of law enforcement aren't working as quickly. They're not coming up with much that's innovative and creative. And there's a certain level of frustration. So what we see at the end of the day sometimes is that the criminals are pretty much shot dead instead of going through the work to bring them in alive, to prosecute them, and to probably get that information to beef up your intelligence, to really decimate the kind of organizations and criminal units you're seeing on the street. We're not seeing that. So I guess shooting criminals and dead has become the easy way out for law enforcement.
The inspector wanted to show us the house where his men killed 2 alleged gangsters the night before, smack dab in the front lines of a raging gang war.
This area, if you come here any day,
Sounds familiar. Same thing that goes on the islands. Intensifies inland.
Take much chances with us.
Same thing. Different players change. The stakes are a little bit higher,
So would you come
but
here by yourself in this car? Or you'd only come with 2 or 3 other police officer cars?
Negroes there, Negroes here.
I might come by myself.
Other cops, other normal cops, would they come here by themselves?
Nah.
Never, huh?
They ain't coming here. All right, let's stop there. Going up there. Come on, take a walk, gentlemen. Let's see what you got.
Should I be scared right now? We're at the borderline 11 too. Sort of this dividing line where there's gang war between the Muslims and Rasta City. And this is close to where there was a shootout a few days ago.
Hey, somebody making the
This is the hills
Muslims
right here. It's
seem
high
like
ground.
The officer's foot went through here. While you going
straight
fight, going,
gang, huh?
Yeah.
Wherever the Muslims.
So they put the gun through there and start firing at you? Jeez, a mess over there.
9/11 Muslim.
So the officer came here.
Yeah.
The Muslims
Exchange.
are
He
the
He end up
throw off bad guys and everything. No matter which hemisphere, the Muslims, west, east,
blood still flies buzzing around.
the Muslims.
Dick. Whenever we ask people about what happened to change Trinidad into such a violent place where people are willing to take on the police, most traced it to one event that changed the country forever. In 1990, Trinidad was home to the only attempted militant Islamic overthrow of a government in the Western Hemisphere. They say that after the coup in 1990, it was sort of a wake-up point for a lot of people in these communities that the government had no control, and the way to solve a problem was with guns, not with talking.
That coup affected the nation, the society on a whole, physically, psychologically, and otherwise. It really damaged the place, and it would have set the trend that, you know what, if you have a problem, let's take on the forces, let's take on the government, let's hold them at bay.
It showed the weakness.
It showed the weakness. And when weakness is exposed, many people take advantage of weakness.
On July 27, 1990, a man named Abu Bakr, the leader of an Islamic group called Jamaat al-Muslimin, and 115 of his followers violently took over TV stations and government buildings, including the parliament, and laid siege to the country for 6 days.
At 6 p.m. this afternoon, the government of Trinidad and Tobago was overthrown.
Hey, what? That's that shit. Hey, what a power that be? Never. Hey, they always have a third party, but that third party be righteous as fuck. Always on some street, like just waste management. Hey, that's what our reservations, our communities need. Our own waste management. At least let the policy officers straight look like niggas, huh? No more, huh? At least, hey, they don't want to see. Hey, or that Or the islanders. Or them islanders be wild. I see why all islanders look collectively at the ending like, what the fuck wrong with y'all niggas, man? I see, but it's a Pan-American shit, but we can't even get the Pan states. I get it. It's too much. Shit, they been cool. Who? The seconds, huh? The seconds. The motherfucking seconds. The seconds. If you don't want to look at the seconds like that, look at your seconds. Your flesh is the seconds that I know they just want to see some nigga shit. They just want to see somebody else misery and not theirs. But I'll get back to it. You want Master to shut the whole thing down, just playing it, just not using no mental trifleness, but I get it. You'll be back. I get it.
24 people were killed in the chaos, and they even shot the prime minister. Because of an amnesty negotiation, they were freed 2 years later.
What amnesty? What is amnesty? Amnesty. Man, these niggas straight. Man, them islanders. Man, them goddamn, what is amnesty? Is it in my law dictionary? Huh? It's amnesty that got this man out in 2 years, buddy, for the street. Man, I'm gonna let this shit play, man. Listen to what he say.
His compound to talk to him about what went wrong in Trinidad.
Amnesty.
I've been charged for murder. I've been charged for conspiracy to murder. I've been charged for treason. I've been charged for terrorism. I've been charged for guns and ammunition. Nothing has stuck because they just fabricated all these cases against me.
Fabricated amnesty. Man, Chris, man, pull up amnesty. Make your life, make your life about amnesty. Shit, where the Muslim, where them red light district patrollers? Shit, I'm an amend, in real estate. Shit, man, I don't even know how to spell amnesty. I know it's I know it's an yeah. Shit, we need some motherfucking ambassadors. Shit, a public official clothed with high diplomatic powers. Shit, that's some national talk. Shit, ain't that what the red light district patroller boys with the red fezzes? A second time in 5 minutes. This is insane. Amnesty. Huh? What the fuck is a amnesty? He out after 2 years. He said it's fabricated. Commissioned by a government to transact the international business of his government with foreign government. An ambassador of the United States is the personal representative of the president and reports to the president through the Secretary of State. It's a secrecy. I'm reading a little better, right? Ambassadors have full responsibilities for implementing the U.S. foreign policies by any and all U.S. government personnels with their country of assignment, except those under military commands. And I won't go any further, but the amnesty. Let me get back to this. I know y'all want us to just see. Y'all ain't shit. These the keys. So after 2 years, hey, one thing about, I think, the Bay that went toe to toe with them said that somebody around him was saying, I know it's gonna drop, but you gotta stand high for the right prize and the amnesty. But Chris must be going live. I get it. Let's get it.
Hearing a lot now that the narco trade here is ramping up a lot.
Yes,
Is it
of
coming
course.
from? Is it coming from politicians? Is it coming from business people? Where is it coming from?
Everybody's involved. Everybody's involved. Everybody, the police.
They ain't ready for this.
Everybody's involved.
Just hey,
The
they
Coast
want to
Guard,
gather
everybody's
around.
involved. Our next one neighbor, 7 miles, is Venezuela. And then right next to Venezuela is Colombia. Right here, this is the transshipment point.
commerce
Go and
talk.
look at the affluence in Trinidad. And you know in Brooklyn, you can find the affluence that exists in Trinidad nowhere.
You know, we saw in the newspaper that the unemployment rate was 4%. Do you think that's accurate?
No, it's not accurate. Far from being accurate. It's a lie. It's a big lie. There's not a single day without a murder or two. Why people would be killing each other if they are employed?
But there was poverty 20 years ago, you know, and there's poverty now. But you didn't see 500 murders a year 20 years ago. Now you see 500 murders a year.
I was in charge.
Oh, because you were in charge.
I'm telling you, I was in charge. 20 years ago, before 1990, I was in charge of the ground. Just before 1990, none of the burner rates, none of the murder rates reached 100. Because we cleaned up the drugs, we cleaned up everything.
After you go to jail, what happens? You lose power of the streets?
No, we just left it.
You just left the streets?
We left it. We say, that's where you want? Well, we left it. And that's what's the problem now. We left it.
Who's controlling it right now?
Controlling what?
Who's controlling the streets?
It's out of control because all the young people just come up after them.
Please debate me, debate me, debate me, please. You Pan-Africans and Pan-Americans, debate me. None of what you're debating is viable in the court of laws. Debate me. Finally found you. Salute, brother. Hey, you could be anywhere in the YouTube debate streets, but you're here with me. The amnesty is far out of reach when we only debate each other. He went up against, because he had a dispute with the government, and he overtook the government for 6 days, and he did a little time, 2 years, but he got out on amnesty. And this is him speaking of how Trinidad, the small island, is up to 500 murders a year. Sounds 500 murders a year in one of your bigger cities is normal. This is for Trinidad, the little island off 5 or 6 miles off the coast of Venezuela. I get it.
Who don't have the experience of the streets, who didn't have the will, the control. I mean, and a lot of the people who were the community leaders were people who were in our organization. We control the street. So are we getting better or are we getting worse? It's getting worse every day. This place is going to explode.
There is a perpetual quest for dominance. You go to sleep Friday night and the person that was dominant Friday, Saturday morning, they find him dead. Then it starts all over again, and the instability starts all over again, and the war for power starts all over again.
Without Bakr or another strongman in power, different leaders are doing whatever is necessary to assert control over territory and contracts.
The gangs have been enshrined in the consciousness of communities. The gangs play a very strategic role when it comes to distribution of wealth in our communities. And a lot of our communities have felt neglected for a very long time from government. So they're not getting the jobs from government. They're not getting the kind of resources they want from the government. But somehow the gangs seem to be the government in our communities. And in Trinidad and Tobago, they don't.
Hey, that's us. What? So basically, because of the open enemy just leaving shit out there in our communities, on our reservations and all that bullshit, there's always a need for some righteous shit, for righteousness to go down in the monks of poverty, in the monks of chaos. Huh? Wasn't that what the gangs was founded on in these bigger cities after they was start lifting and redlining shit back in the days? Huh? Doesn't that sound familiar, that what goes on here in the inland? Same shit that goes on in the outland. And the outland is a reflection of what is in the inland. But I get it. Ain't that a bitch? You see that? So, is it microphone check 1 2? Hey, so the amnesty, huh? You know, after that, it leaves you. Man, it's a $1 trillion industry. This oppression, this poverty that's gift wrapped with luxury items on top of it that are trophies, huh? The trophies, the winners, all the winners of the oppression, huh? Here in the United States of oppression, huh? 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 You want to do something? Huh? 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 Want to do something? State law. That's done. That's done. Let me pull up. Let me get y'all. And, you know, one of the main reasons the U.S. don't fuck with Haiti like that. So a lot of the diseases and shit like that, they don't get look at the main one, what was tied to Haiti, what, AIDS, right? Other than that, they can't run down on the Haitians in a third world country to make them get the stab. That's one thing about it, but it's so much. It is said that a meteor hit the part where Haiti is and its precious materials down there that they know about, that's similar to the Black Panther shit, but that's another thing. There's so many twists and turns, but I wasn't going. Yes, let me go in. I got it. It's right here. Might as well. Controversy sales, right? Nobody can get next to it. This the one. Not the one. Nobody. Well, what's up? Realize TV, how you doing? Peace. Let me put this here. This is Illinois folk. This is U.S. Department of Justice, National Institution of Justice. This is the Illinois State Police. Illinois State Police Criminal Intelligence Bulletin number April 92. This has to do with the Al-Ruka, I think, yeah. I just happened to stumble across this. Black disciple, gangster disciple, Latin disciple, Simon City Royals, 2 Sixers. P. Blackstone, Coppertone, Al Rukas, Insane Deuces, Insane Unknowns, Latin Kings, Vice Lords. There is nothing glamorous about street gangs. Participation in a street gang holds a life of continual criminal activity, imprisonment, or an early death in the streets, often at the hands of rival gang members or vengeful victims. Nevertheless, gang activity has went on throughout the state here and there. Law enforcement agencies often find themselves waging a losing battle. They're going to set it up like this, like it's strictly yeah. It is commonly believed that gangs originally were formed by young men rebelling against their low social status. Rebelling against their low social status. They came from areas of overcrowded, substandard housing, poor or non-existent healthcare facilities and broken homes. Sounds like us, huh? There were few economic opportunities through which they could improve their situations. Or originally, they may have sought simple things. I can't say that word. Born of shared frustrations over real or perceived social and economic injustices. Ultimately, however, they manifested their social resentment into criminal activity. Ultimately, however, because of the shitstorm, things that were born out of our hands, the culture. Ultimately, however, they manifest their social resentment into criminal activity. It is interesting to note that the current gangs intensified whatever is explained in the same terms. A small Irish American group called the 40 Thieves was the first known gang. They formed in 1820 in the rear of a grocery store in the 5 Points district of New York City. The 40 Thieves, like the gangs that followed them, also formed sub-gangs of juveniles, which were appropriately dubbed the 40 Little Thieves. Their activities included murder, robbery, street muggings, and other associated acts of violence. The gangs disappeared shortly before the Civil War. The 5 Point district and the Irish Americans also were credited with the formation of the second recognized street gang. This group called themselves the Carry-Niners, and membership was limited to young men whose ancestry could be traced to country Kerry in Ireland. That's the first of the made men. Not gonna go. We know about the rest. Get something. Peace. Let me get something real quick. This graffiti, the turf, symbols, graffiti, tattoos, represent Illinois gangs. The survey participants' response showed that Cook County, followed by Will, Lake, and Kane counties, had the highest concentration of gang members and the largest number of gang arrests when compared to the rest of the state. In central Illinois, Morgan and Shangmore counties recorded the largest number of gang arrests. St. Clair County had the greatest number of gang arrests in southern Illinois. Disciples, folks, the disciples originated in the early 60s as arch rivals of the Blackstone Rangers. The rest. This is public information. This is public information. Everybody. This is public information. This ain't nothing new. I just ran across this. The disciplines were the disciples. The disciples were originally headed by David Barksdale, who was shot and killed during an altercation over control of a narcotics trade. Now, so The Wire used Barksdale, and because one of the main characters, Barksdale, just seeing I'm just vibing, we just vibing. After his death, the gang splintered into several smaller groups. Larry Hoover organized what has become known as the Gangster Disciples, sometimes referred to as Disciple Nation. It's amazing, man. They kept a whole. This is the jacket. This is the jacket. Public information. Also, the KKK gang is fake history. So the KKK gang, you know how this is part of the after effects of the Hoover shit. The keep close ties on niggas. You know what I'm saying? Set them out to be straight. You know what I'm saying? Terrorists, straight enemies of the state, because many times they don't align with the same and there was a alignment that a tie to Gaddafi. There's a tie to the Moors, the Al Rukin. Even though, as we know, that they leave a shit show out there, so many don't know what control and who you're gonna be under. You're gonna be up under something, because the overall protection, that's what the government's for. That's what the armies and all that shit. But the first 501c3 for the streets was and was brought to you by Jeff Ford and Fry. Let me go down to Fry. This is the Al Rukin part. The Al Rukins, although not the largest street gang, was perhaps the most sophisticated of all gangs in Illinois. In fact, during their latest years, the Al Rukins more closely resemble an organized crime group. Due to federal and state prosecutions, the upper echelons of the Al Rukins had been decimated, leaving the gang nearly defunct. This history is included for two reasons. The first, it is important to understand the evolution of street gangs and to be watchful for similar changes in other gangs. Second, the El Rukin may have shown remarkable tendency. It may be premature to consider the gang for like gone, out of sight, out of mind. Here we go. Might as well read it. During the 60s, the El Rukins were known as the Blackstone Rangers. In the late 1960s and early 70s, they changed their name to the Almighty Black to the Almighty Black Peace Stone Nation, formed as a coalition of 50 street gangs. They grew in power and membership to become the supreme power on the south side of Chicago. What's up? What's up? What's up, baby girl? What's up? Okay, I'm back. The Blackstone gang tried to protect themselves as a social conscious in the community. The Black Peace Stone Nation tried to protect themselves, tried to project themselves, display themselves as a social conscious of the community. At one time, they even were officially chartered by the state of Illinois as a grassroots independent voters, as the grassroots independent voters of Illinois. Told you, they was basically the first 501c3 for the hood. They were chartered. The minister, Fryer, the white dude, one of the first Catholic priests, whatever, in the Chicago area. They worked hand in hand, and they were granted. The group attained federal funds and private contributions to carry out their announced intentions. However, a federal grand jury later unrevealed the misuse of these funds, and the leader of the Blackstone Nation, Jeff Ford, was sent to prison. After his release on parole, after his release, Ford moved to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where he funded the first of the Al Roken organizations. Achieving status in Milwaukee, he moved his operation to 39th and Dexter in Chicago, the former turf of the Almighty Black Peace Stone Nation. The Al Roken claimed to be a religious organization under the Moorish Science Temple of America, but officials of that organization denied the Al Roken were associated with them in any manner. Furthermore, an Al Roken attempt to have themselves proclaim a religious organization was defeated in court. So would the Klan be considered kind of a religious organization while they aren't in whole ran down on the same as any black street gangs ever? Thank y'all. That was 7-8 that's still with me. In 86, Ford and several of his followers was indicted by a federal grand jury on charges that the Al Rukens had been in contact with Liberian leader Muammar Gaddafi, offering to commit terrorist acts within the United States. In November 87, Ford and 5 other members of the Al Rukens were convicted of terrorism. They were the first U.S. citizens convicted on such charges. Wow. You could expect for, I'm saying, it's always it always lays in the hearts of men before the hearts of the corporations, because the hearts of the corporations pump blue and black and blue for the pen work, for the pen marks on the contracts, the black for the oil, that it's a fine, well-oiled machine that the corporations, that's their oil. That's the blue pill, but the red pill, shouts out to Sophia Stewart. The red pill represents man, the blood that is the being's oil. You know, you know, all of the bullshit that happened. We know enough of that. This and that, this and that, this and that. Yet, what about our amnesty, huh? We're prisoners of war, huh? We're political prisoners of war, huh? That have been throughout our generations been classified, reclassified, but where's our amnesty, huh? Let me go back to this. That's the rest of the gangs. At this time in 92, these ethnic gangs go unnoticed with the influx of aliens from the Caribbeans and Asia during the past decade. They have been a marked increase in criminal activity stemming from these groups. The posses, early 80s, that's what the Steven Seagal, one of the movies, Posse, I think. It was named Posse, and it was based in Chicago. Wow. Let me show you a little bit of something what I was watching earlier. Hold up. Let me go there. I know I'm losing them. Fuck it. Never had them. Let me go in here real quick. Oh, that's where they at. It's all good. Get off here and chill. Hold up real quick. It's way down here. Oh, it's right here. Okay. I kind of know. I can kind of see where it left off because I see what the dude was. Hopefully they don't shut this bitch down. Here I go. Sorry.
Dark City came right out of my book. I can show you and prove you what Dark City, Stargate, X-File, Predator, Transformers, they all came out of my book. You think I'm kidding? I can show you. Wow. But the fans all know because the fans have read. I've written several books on the Matrix and Terminator. Wow. I created the graphics, the logos, the special effects. I can show you where the logos come from in ancient Egypt.
I need to see
In
that,
ancient
man.
Egypt, it goes all the way to Kemet and Eden.
Is Neo Heru?
That's exactly who he is, sweetie. The right eye, and the left eye is Amun-Ra. And you see the pyramids, the platform where the pyramid ship is taking Obama to be fixing his Superman, Spider-Man, Iron
I should
Man,
have just left
Batman,
him.
and Rocky saving the world. I won the lawsuit.
I'll leave it there.
And when I won the lawsuit, they still reneged.
Said that
So come on.
the Matrix
Anytime
is
somebody is not
referred
worthy of their
to
word,
in
I'm
the
not even
Bible
interested in this,
5
because your
times,
word
and the
is
Matrix
divine,
that most
and
of
when
us
you
know
give it, that's what I accept. But guess
is
what? I went on to
the
greater
seed.
things. I went on beyond her, Wall Street Journal, Rolling Stone, ABCs, BET,
What
Essence, Vibe,
is genetically put together with the
L3,
seedless watermelons and the
Judge Joe
seedless
Brown,
grapes?
Gary
She said that
Berg's,
it isn't a
Michael
watermelon nor a
Basian,
grape.
Armstrong
Anything that
Williams.
is
And I can
without
go
the
on
seed.
and on and on. Over 4,000 media interviews.
All right, let's go a little deeper. Okay? So who is we got the Oracle, her part. Who is Morpheus?
Morpheus is who we portrayed in the movie, a strong leadership role to help Neo to evolve into what he will become and what he became. He was there to teach him how to fight the machines that are coming to elevate.
Right.
And that's what he did.
Right.
But he wasn't the only Black leadership role. There's Jada Pickett's role. There's Nona Gay. There's Marcus Chong, Anthony Parker, Henry. So many Black people that is numerous in the Matrix. You can't even count them because it's Black leadership role. It is not white science fiction. White science fiction has no Black leadership.
Yeah, that's true.
White science fiction is Superman, Spider-Man, Iron Man, Batman, and Rocky saving the world. They are the heroes, not the bad guys like the agents in the Matrix. The agents are white guys. They're the bad guys. That is Black science fiction. Going up against Black leadership roles.
Wow. So that's a whole change. That was a whole different change when the Matrix first came out, man. That was the first time that I seen that. Like Black leadership like that. And then you had some spin-offs like Dark City. Yeah. They're kind of like
but Dark City came right out of my book.
Oh.
I can show you and prove you where Dark City, Stargate, X-File, Predator, Transformers, they all came out of my book. You think I'm kidding? I can show you.
Wow.
But the fans all know because the fans have read. I've written several books on the Matrix and Terminator.
Wow.
I created the graphics, the logos, the special effects. I can show you where the logos come from in ancient Egypt.
I need to see
In
that,
ancient Egypt, it goes all the way to Kemet and Eden.
Is Neo Heru?
That's exactly who he is, sweetie. The right eye, and the left eye is Amun-Ra. And you see the pyramids, the platform where the pyramid ship is taking off on top of the pyramid. The foundation is a ship in Stargate. That's all in the Third Eye book. The graphics are there. You can go to the Library of Congress, 1981, 83, 84. You think I'm joking? I'm not joking.
That's real talk.
I know it's in our DNA, so I know it's gonna come up out of us. You know what I'm saying? It just take time and less pressure being put on us for us to reveal this magic that we have.
Well, they were talking about me in Los Angeles Sentinel. Please go to the archives, everyone, and look in the Los Angeles Sentinel, June of 1981. They're saying Sophia Stewart is going to come out with the first Black science fiction with Black leadership roles, so our kids can aspire to become anything they want, including President of the United States.
Right.
And my work helped to inspire Obama to become president. Obama was not the first Black president.
Right.
He was the 8th black president because there were 7 other black presidents before him.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to name them?
Yes, definitely.
Hanson the Moore, John Hanson, Jefferson, Jackson. That's right, Thomas Jefferson, Jackson, Coolidge, Eisenhower, Hardin.
Wow.
Come on, all of these presidents, Lincoln.
Wow.
All of these presidents came before Obama. Now, George Washington was the first white president, but he wasn't the first president. And it was a black house before it was a white house. They burnt it down, built a new one, painted it white, and put white presidents all over the walls. But before that, there were black presidents' pictures and paintings all over the first White House. It was black. It got burnt down. Google it. There was a Black Wall Street. And by the way, I got the Black Wall Street Award. That's right. That's one of my awards that I just got last month. There was a Black Wall Street before there was a White Wall Street. The Black Wall Street got bombed. Bombs in America, bombed with planes. Just like the people got bombed over in Philadelphia.
Project, yeah.
They got bombed. That wasn't the first bombing of black people. Look at the history of the Oklahoma Black Wall Street. Multi-millionaires, because nobody white would take their money. So they circulated their money among themselves and became multi-millionaires. They had their own banks. First Black Wall Street upon the earth. But what happened? Jealousy and hate came in and killed all those people, but robbed the banks first. Took all their monies and then turned around and integrated the money, but not the people. Then all the black consumers started giving all their money to the white economy, and they grew poor and poor with no jobs and no economy. How sad, because once upon a time in America, and this is not Quentin Tarantino, it's Sophia Stewart, black people were multimillionaires because they circulated their economics and money among themselves, and that is the only way you will become a multimillionaire or a billionaire. But when you circulate your money outside, the other ones become multimillionaires and billionaires. So the money became integrated, but you got left behind. And that's the matrix.
That's the matrix.
Indeed.
It is the truth.
Wow.
I got another question.
It is the absolute truth, because money is about economics, and how you spend that money tells what you're going to be and how rich or not rich you're going to be. So I'm going to tell the truth here. And for those who can't handle the truth, you may want to leave the room.
Were you involved in the
Or
latest?
the audience.
Were you involved in the latest Terminator movie?
No, because it wasn't the Terminator. It was garbage, and it flopped, and it lost $500 million to the
did flop.
investors.
I hate
It
the way
flopped so. Yeah, go ahead. It
they
flopped
killed
so bad.
John Connor. It killed the whole. It killed the whole thing. I was like, why? And they start the movie with that. It was like a CGI. It was Edward Furlong. It was an Edward Furlong in CGI form, and then just they had a fake Terminator, a fake Arnold Schwarzenegger come through and blow him up. And I'm like, I wanted to leave the theater. I'm like, I don't want to see the rest.
Let me tell you what that's about. All that's about is like if Michael Jackson has passed away. So all you're gonna do is mimic Michael Jackson's old steps from 20 or 30 years ago. So all that was a rehash, redone of the same old stuff that came out in 1984 from my work and my book and my script.
So they tried to wipe the slate clean, basically, and try to rebuild.
Well, they can't wipe the slate. They can't wipe the slate clean and rebuild. All you can do is try to make some money off of somebody else. You cannot continue.
One more. Right go. I lost. Yeah. I've been saying rage against the machine. It's a fight against all. I say that for that. Can I be able to find it? I get intimidated every time I get here, but I see it on my tablet. It look different. Public officers. Here we go. Hmm? Real quick, just the public officers. This is in every state. This is the state of Florida where I reside. No, leave it alone. Leave it alone. You done touched it and I'm messing my damn thing up. No person holding office of embroiderment. I'm saying that a little wrong. Stop. Under any foreign government or civil office of embroiderment under the United States or any other state shall hold any office of honor or of embroiderment under the government of this state. Embroiderment means can't dually hold two offices. I mean, you can't serve two masters at one time. That's basically what it means. See, no person shall hold at the same time more than one office under the government of the state and the counties and municipalities, the city governments, townships, except that of notary public, or military officer may hold other office, and any officer may be a member of a constitution revision commission, taxation and budget reform commission, constitutional conversion, or statutory body having only advisory powers. Each state and county officer, before entering upon the duties of the office shall give bond as required by law and shall swear and affirm. Each state and county officer before entering his duties of office shall give bond as required by law. A certificate or evidence of a debt on which the issuing company or governmental body promises to pay the bondholders a specific amount of interest of a specific limited length of time and repay the loan on the express expiration date in Florida. I think every year before the 10th, February 10th, they have to reinsure their bonds and stuff. Shall give bond as required by law and serve or affirm. I do solemnly swear or affirm that I support, protect, and defend the Constitution and government of the United States and of the state of Florida, that I duly qualify to hold office under the Constitution of the state, and that I will and faithfully perform the duties of the whatever, the police department, whatever, sheriff department, whatever, on which I am now about to enter. So help me God. And therefore shall devote personal attention to the duties of the office and continue in office until a successor qualifies. Each state or county officer, before entering his job of the office, shall give bond as required. Just let that sit on the knowledge. Just to let that sit on the knowledge. All police officers, just look at this. The police agency is subcontracted by the sheriff's office. Basically, they are contracted to handle the law enforcement, the peace offers, be a peace officer in the townships and municipalities. They're agencies. They're an agent of the sheriff, which is contracted by the Constitution of the state of Florida and the Constitution. That is why no police officer could hand out subpoenas type anything dealing with any law except arresting you. Don't they have to go to, before they can serve a search warrant, before any search warrants, especially the police? They are agencies that at any given time, enough leverage, enough know-how, enough trifleness within inside of our communities, we could. That's the honest, that's the righteous way of defunding a police agency, is taking that and putting that where it goes. Couple hundred years ago, there was no police agencies at this rate. The Wild Wild West shows it. Who was the law enforcement? Sheriffs and marshals, U.S. Marshals. Both are tied to the Constitution. The police agencies are not. The police agencies are tied to policies that sit within the municipalities, your cities and towns. I'm not going to go on and go on. Thank y'all for being here. Reading that out loud sounds oathing. Fuck. I know the most ratchet in the country, but it's a breakdown on everything. But if I know, fuck it. So they will continue to represent us with the Democrats and Republicans that are the same as attorneys. They supposed to represent us, but they represent us. They're over our trust. All the trust, the tags that we pay are a trust. I get it, but fuck them all. But whew, right at that 10 minutes left before the 2 hour mark. Here we go. Yeah, I get it. Hey, enough of that. Hey, that's why them, hey, you know, well, I see it more up here in Central Florida, and especially North Florida. Matter of fact, Florida in the goddamn, the Sunshine State in the goddamn house. Tampa Bay. Hey, but that's why here in Florida, them cracker rich farmers or farmer rich riding around in 350. Take your pick. Dodge, Chevy or Ford. Malicious. I get it, but they don't want to see. What? And the long way, the righteous way. Some of us ran from the politics. So I know we don't want to get to nothing but what we want to collectively. We believe in ourselves. We can do it ourselves, self-governing. Who gonna protect you? But that, what, good or wrong, right or wrong, what, they still locked up. They were going at something righteous. Everybody, all groups fucked up. Look at the mob. We take mob names. Lucky Luciano, all that, Al Capone, all that. And what it was, the Irish gang, supposedly. They're going to continue to until we show what the Bay said that had the showdown. You got to show them that you're not scared of them, but we scared of law. We scared to read. Fuck it. So they gonna run down on us. Fuck them. Them niggas, you know how they play in Florida, but it's hard, but it's fair. That shit right there in our face. All that. Yeah. Everything in the Constitution, but that's similar to a Bible. Burn it. Burn it. Man, them crackers, some of them, the higher uppers, these crackers been so ahead of the game that they dress down just enough, man. They don't get flashy like us. They programmed us to be used to never having or used to having shit. And so, again, oh, and it's still there. Oh, so it's meant. I'll be back.
About personal response. In my last video, I talked about personal responsibility for what we do and how we represent ourselves to one another and, but more specifically, to those outside of our community. There was a lot of pushback saying that I'm serving the oppressor's agenda, that I'm serving an an agenda that's dangerous and unhealthy for our own people, that I'm somehow blaming the victim for what the oppressor has done. But here's how I see it. The image that now dominates the landscape, that represents the black man and the black woman, that is the oppressor's role. That's not a role you pick for yourself. I'm a thug, I'm a gangster, I'm a killer, I'm a pimp, I'm a hoe, I'm a bitch, I'm a nigga. You didn't pick that for yourself. The white man picked that for you. They've been saying that since the 1700s. Look up Carl von Linnaeus, father of modern anthropology. This man is still in your kids' textbooks in high school. Scientifically, in a science book, characterized black people as lazy and lustful, right? In a science book, right? Thomas Jefferson was boning slaves, talking about blacks are sexually unattractive and inferior to whites. Same man that wrote the Declaration of Independence, which states, we believe that all men are created equal and endowed by certain unalienable rights by their creator. So when you see me say take that off your timeline, I'm saying that representation is the white man's agenda. That representation is your oppressor's agenda. You didn't come up with that. You didn't decide to represent yourself that way. It's been stamped and beaten into your psyche that that's who you are for so long that you just accepted it and thought you came up with the idea. Somebody told you, oh, this is a good idea, right? Meanwhile, same streets I'm standing on, same streets I've been walking since I've been on this earth, New York City, in 1906, the Bronx Zoo had a black man on display in a cage. Right? That's 1906. And it wasn't backwoods, toothless, redneck, Ku Klux Klan members coming to see this man in this cage. It was civilized. New York, Northerners, white folks, Christians, right? Coming to view this black man in the cage. So when you see LeBron James on the cover of Vogue as the first black man in the history of Vogue to be on the cover, and he's looking like Godzilla with the white woman in his arm, and he's, understand there's a long history of that. And understand that when you do it now, you are responsible. Because nobody's beating you and making you act like that. Nobody's holding a gun to your head and forcing you to act like that and represent that. So yeah. I asked you last time, were you responsible, and who was responsible? You are. It's not your fault, because it didn't start with you. But in this day and age, you are responsible. Because those quotes I gave you from the 1700s, Carl von Linnaeus, Thomas Jefferson, the list goes on, the father of modern gynecology, Dr. Sims and all that, doing experiments on black women because he wrote blacks don't feel pain as much and all of that, right? These people, if these people are heroes, there's probably more Thomas Jefferson statues than any other founding father all around the nation. The man who said blacks are inferior and whites are superior, but was fathering black children with his slaves, is the hero of this place. So if you think that pathology, right, has not been passed down from generation to generation along with this rich national heritage of freedom and independence and all of this stuff, you're crazy. You're crazy. What we're dealing with is sociopathy and psychopathy, right? What do you mean? You look at pictures of lynchings. Now, be mindful, lynchings happen after slavery because nobody wants to lynch their own slaves. Slaves were property and profitable. The lynchings occurred after the 246 years of chattel slavery, right? You see families, white families, standing around, looking up, smiling, taking pictures, right? If I held up an animal and I choked it to death in front of you and I was smiling and I kicked it, you call me a monster. It'll make headline news for a week and I will go to jail for animal cruelty and all type of trumped up charges, right? For hurting an animal. So what level of sociopathy do you have to do this to human beings for years on end? What kind of disassociative psychopathy and sociopathy does that produce? Or do you have to be standing around with your child watching a human being hang. Right? See, so if you think that pathology of sociopathy has not been handed down, you're crazy. And if you're looking to anybody outside of your community to change their mind about you for you, or to give you anything, you're crazy. It's not going to happen. So, it's my question. Where did this originate? Who you representing when you think you free to be what you want? You think that's your culture. You think, oh, this is who I'm a real nigga. I'm a thug nigga. Nah, that's the white man's idea, homie. That's your oppressor's idea, homie. That's Satan's idea, homie. Facts or not.
Hey, here I go. I'm about to end my day. Could you take me outside? Dang. Could you take me outside? I swear, man, I can't watch YouTube no more, man. I need to get all my shit, all the best of everything, and just run this bitch. They can't do nothing in about 12 hours straight of just a motherfucking network. Coming soon, man. Vegan. Soon as you open up your shit, I know you're gonna be on there about 12, 13, 14 hours. You're going for 1,000 views and 13 hours. You can do it. You can do it. Bring Yak up there with you. Bring Mental Ninja. Bring Huey P. And sprinkle in root words and a little bit of Noble. And there you go. Shots fired. Shots fired. Shots fired. Shots fired. Shots fired. Shots fired. Hey, thank y'all for tuning in. Crystal Meadows, appreciate you. House of Nathan, appreciate you. Grandma, Dade County Finest, let me find out. Appreciate you. JJ, be a lighter one, appreciate you. Appreciate you. Brethren, appreciate you. Hey, you know you're in West Florida. Hey, Louisiana ain't nothing but wet. Hey, your origin, I think. I know you in Psyop State, right? You in Colorado. Colorado ain't nothing but Psyop State. That weed and all Psyops. Everything Psyops out there. Psyops, Colorado, but you know that Louisiana, Texas, all that shit ain't nothing but West Florida. Florida in the house. Florida in the house. Hey, just for shits and giggles. Hey, this shit already fucked up, man. All this shit ain't nothing but the best to get that motherfucking channel shit up. But you know, hey, it's method behind madness. Hey, let me end this bitch with the cult favorite. Hey, fuck it. This bitch already, hey. It's fuck the trap up Friday, bitch. The trap already fucked up, bitch. I ain't do this shit none on schedule this week, man. I was trying to take some lay down time, man. Maybe hey, I'ma still do this shit, man. I need to get some more shit together, but until then, hey, Juvie, I'm so sick. I'm so disappointed in you, my brother. Here we go.
You're finna online J chat, find a main chat, open up the okay profile picture looking tight chat, nice chat, got your bio reading right chat, precise chat, but before you find a date chat, you gotta wait chat, gotta go vaccinate chat, get it straight chat, girl you look good, want you vax that thing up, you's a handsome young brother, want you vax that thing up, dating real life, you need to vax that thing up, feeling freaky all night, you need to vax that thing up, girl you look good, want you vax that thing up, you's a handsome young brother, want you vax that thing up, dating Hating real like you need to vax that thing up. Feeling freaky all night, you need to vax that thing up.
I know you can't stand it, no holding hands, chick. But when we get the shot, we gonna be romancing. Girl, you can
Shit.
quarantine. We could meet up at the spot and we could do the thing. Internet date chat, I'm the main
Show.
chat. Download the app, shawty, you ain't gotta wait chat. I love it when you hold me.
Where that paperwork at? Paperwork. Paperwork. Show me the paperwork. I'll back that thing up. Yeah. Hey. Scott. Hey. Show me the paperwork. Paperwork. Make it twerk. Yeah. Fuck that. Fuck that. Shit. Yeah. No vaccine.
To counter what they got going on, I should upload this for the fuck of it and just no vaccine. No vaccine, no vaccine, none of the water. You can keep the water. No vaccine, no Maybelline. Vaccine, you can keep that dirty water. Yeah. Fuck you, CDC. Fuck you. Fuck your stab up there. Fuck covert ain't my friend. Fuck covert. Fuck testing. Fuck the shot. I ain't getting shot up no more. Fuck, 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 fuck. Fuck the shot. Yeah, I know I did a horrible time saying, but it is what it is. For the shot, yeah. Backs that thing on her. Fuck